F it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Here goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It's Wednesday, December 2nd. We are your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Tony Sanfilippo. Tony, you had a late night last night, but you seem pretty chipper this morning.
Yeah, not too bad. Definitely tired, but it's okay. So I was putting the watch party out there because it failed to do so when I initially did it. But nonetheless, it's up there. It's a new day. And yeah, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I had a late night as well. Obviously, wasn't working that late, but just couldn't shut my brain off. So, it's one of those things that... ended up going to bed about 1:30, got up about 6. So, working on a little bit of sleep, but not a whole lot. But you know what? I'm feeling good overall.
Good. Very good, as the commercials in between say.
Good.
Or just say cool, or whatever that
I think it's cool, but that's okay.
Cool.
That's Andy Samberg.
I didn't know that the whole time. I just kept hearing cool.
In any case, let's go ahead and kick things off the way we do each and every day with a question for my co-host. Tony, obviously, we don't talk about politics on this show that much. We try to stay away from it because we are the laughs and levity. We're trying to not be the heavy portion of most people's day. But when it comes to government, what would you say is the most illicit or dangerous items that can cross into a government's borders? Doesn't have to be ours. It could be just any government in general.
Oh, weapons of mass destruction.
I'd say that's probably a fair one.
That's probably it, right? Drugs.
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, those are the sort of things that would come to
Gremlins, Mogwai.
Yeah, you don't want weaponized Mogwai because it'll ruin your Christmas.
Yes,
sure.
Absolutely. The minute you get them wet, you're screwed.
Well, speaking of getting things wet, the Indonesian authorities have destroyed hundreds of sex toys on Friday as demand for the prohibited devices has spiked during the coronavirus pandemic. Sex toys are illegal in the conservative country. Officials say they corrupt public morals and they routinely intercept shipments, torching them as though they were illicit drugs. In their most recent bust, a total of 442 sex toys were destroyed in Bandung, the capital of the Indonesian...
Bandung, huh?
Yeah, the capital of the Indonesian province of West Java. You thought that was a funny name? Try this one on. Dwiono Widodo, a customs official who led the operation.
It's where I'm going on vacation next year after the holidays.
Isn't it Dwiono Claus? Duande Claus?
Duanta Claus.
That's what it was. Anyway.
Duanta Claus is coming to Dwiana Dido.
Dwiono Widodo, a customs official who led the operation, told Indonesian news site Ditech that the pandemic has led to a surge in online sales of sex toys. At a press conference, he displayed a range of seized sex toys, including a sleeve and a purple rubber device, if we... want to be...
It's a dodo.
There you go.
It's Duanta Claus.
The devices are mostly imported from China, which produces 70% of the world's sex toys. Chinese toy makers said sales jumped a whopping 50% in the first half of 2020. In February, customs officers at the Kuala Namu International Airport in North Sumatra...
I'm so glad that you're reading this article.
There are some really hard names in here.
Yeah.
They confiscated hundreds of sex toys imported into the country. Leon Key, who runs an adult store in Yogyakarta in central Java, told Vice World News that he wasn't aware of the illegality of sex toys, citing the existing network of suppliers and distributors for the products. The surging demand for sex toys has been a global phenomenon since the pandemic started. You know, people are bored. They need stuff to do. They need stuff to do with their partners. And, you know, it's a shame that they're burning these things and putting them on the same level as illicit drugs or weapons of mass destruction or anything along those lines.
It's funny because those prudes are probably the ones, you know, they use it more than anybody.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We gotta shut it down. Don't tell anyone about my Diodo, the Dodo, the Dwanta Claus.
Yeah,
a lot of hard words in that thing, dude.
There were. Yeah, they burned 442 of them, but I'm guessing there were probably about 460. They took some home for themselves. You know, Christmas is coming up. They're probably giving them away as gifts.
Christmas!
And actually, that might be a good gift for the person who's impossible to buy for, which just might be a topic coming up today. Well, speaking of today's show, we do have a wonderful show lined up for you.
It's wonderful.
Let's go ahead and talk about today's show, shall we?
Hump Day! Yeah!
It is Hump Day. It's Wednesday. On today's show, as we do on Wednesdays, we have Words Are Hard because, well, words are hard.
They're hard.
We have a segment called The Internet of Things. Our call-in topic today is Gifts for the Impossible. We have a segment called Sex Miseducation. We round out the day with This Day in History, and Tony is up next with the entertainment news. Folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
How to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
the most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Wednesday, December 2nd. Now we have a little thing called the Fenix Line. It is a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line giving you guys, the viewers and listeners, an opportunity to chime in on anything whatsoever. Maybe you burned your sex toys in solidarity to the Indonesian government. If that's the case, we want to know about it. Give us a call on the Fenix Line.
Ding dong dido.
Exactly. That number, 855-FENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDO or 855-336-4973. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We'll compile those together and put them out in a future show. Now, speaking of entertaining, Tony is here with the entertainment news.
Oh, good morning, everybody. It is, oh gosh, I don't even know what day it is. It's Hump Day, Wednesday, December 2nd.
Yeah!
And here's your Filippo Fast Five. Oh, yeah. Peter Dinklage is going to star in the Toxic Avenger reboot. The original directors are back on to produce. Can he be the next Deadpool? We shall see. I just remember those being really dirty films.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the cartoons were very tame, but the movies were pretty dirty.
And they were cheesy, too.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what that's like. WWE's Xavier Woods joins G4 as a new host as G4 launches next year. They'll be bringing back all the originals, Olivia Munn, Adam Sessler, Morgan Webb. So that should be interesting.
Good news, everyone.
He hosts Up, Up, Down, Down on YouTube. Fun video game channel.
No kidding. Very cool.
Felicity Huffman is returning to TV in a baseball comedy at ABC. Proof that Aunt Becky can get back to TV at some point. Although, if she would have just pulled a Felicity Huffman and just settled in the beginning, it probably would be not doing the time. In sad news, and this kind of startled me when I originally read it, so Bill Murray's brother, Ed, the inspiration behind Caddyshack, dies, but it says Bill Murray's brother dead, and you see Bill Murray and dead, and you're like, oh.
And so, you assume it's Brian Doyle Murray, but it's not.
Yeah, that's their other brother, but still very sad. The Big Bang Theory's Johnny Galecki and girlfriend Alana Meyer have split, so Leonard is available for all you ladies. And that is your Filippo Fast Five. Now we're going to go to the entertainment news. There wasn't a whole lot in the realm of entertainment yesterday, but some interesting stuff that will kind of shake it up. So, NASA reveals that an unknown object is speeding towards Earth. It's been a big year for NASA. Discoveries as the U.S. government agency has previously made headlines regarding water on the moon, perhaps evidence of an alternate dimension, and even helping out Tom Cruise to film a movie in space. Now the group has noticed that an object of unknown origin is expected to skate past our planet in the early hours of yesterday, so we're okay. It's kind of irrelevant now. Woo! We survived. Yeah, you guys got this. But they were unknown what it was. They were worried that if it could hit and create some damage, but nothing happened. Don't know if it was a rocket body or an old satellite, but there you go. Help if I would have proofread that bad boy.
It's all right. We're safe. That's all that matters.
Yeah, we are alive. Speaking of alive, as we've talked about, I think we joked on this show that In-N-Out Burger is officially opened in Colorado now. We have 2 of them. And do you know how long it took for people to get their first taste of Colorado In-N-Out Burger?
If I remember when they opened the Texas location, they had a line of cars that was 2 miles long going down the road. I would assume it's probably fairly similar to that.
Oh, yeah. So obviously I'm going to read the article as cheesy as it may, and I'll freestyle, of course. The menu must not be much of a secret at all, because Colorado fans of the iconic California chain In-N-Out Burger waited in epic lines on opening day. as the state's first 2 outlets open. In Aurora, cops were called to control the crowds as customers snacked around the new fast food restaurant at an adjacent mall. Customers told local ABC affiliate that they waited nearly 14 hours to get their hamburgers. 14 hours was the wait.
Say
Fries and shakes. That was big news here in Colorado that day. Everyone kept texting me, "You going to In-N-Out?" Not for 14 hours, I'm not. Police warned that the next day was a 12-hour wait, and the lines wrapped around the mall twice. They estimated the line was 1.5 to 2 miles long. In-N-Out sold over 60,000 burgers on opening weekend. Yeah, so obviously to say people wanted In-N-Out in both the Colorado Springs and Aurora location, definitely interesting. Now they have more planned for the state of Colorado going into 2021, so they'll start popping up all over, which is a good thing. Yeah. But I just anticipate after each one opens, it's just going to get longer and longer. And unfortunately, I feel that a lot of people are going to get their hopes up, because, it's word of mouth, In-N-Out. Everybody's got stickers. You got people from California that rave about it. And then when you go in, when you're in, let's say, a virgin to the In-N-Out, you're expecting this thing to be the God-changing, game-changing burger.
Right.
Well, spoiler alert, it's not. We love it. We're both huge fans of In-N-Out. It's delicious. It's one of those burgers that's just a great fast food. It's, it's relatively cheap. The fries, hit and miss. Sometimes they're pretty damn good. Sometimes they just absolutely suck.
It's a coin toss
Shakes
with
are
the
on
fries,
point.
yeah.
But at the same time, man, you can get a big filling meal for under, literally like under $8. So
Yeah. It's expectation versus reality. If you build it up as In-N-Out's the best in the world, then when you go in, if you've never had it before, even if it's fantastic, it's still not the best. So go in with low expectations, but understand it's a good, fresh burger.
Oh, it's very good. Like, I take it over Wendy's, McDonald's, any of those, any day of the week.
Absolutely.
I would take that. I would go to Chick-fil-A, obviously, for the chicken alternate. And I would definitely, if it was a burger choice, I think Five Guys is a way better burger.
Yeah, too bad.
You're going to pay for a burger and fries from Five Guys with a shake, we're looking about $20 compared to $8.
Yeah, you basically have to mortgage your house in order to afford a meal from Five Guys. It's
that's the only downside to Five Guys is it's expensive. But now that you're all hungry this lovely Wednesday morning, let's go on to different topics here. ESPN's MegaCast is going to make its NFL playoffs debut. Now, ESPN's presentation of its NFL wildcard game will broadcast against 5 different Walt Disney Company networks. Oh, boy. Marking the debut of the MegaCast in the NFL playoffs announced Monday. The game, which will take place either January 9th or 10th, will broadcast on ESPN, ABC, ESPN2, Freeform. That's a weird channel to catch a football game.
Right.
And ESPN Deportes. ESPN and ABC will simulcast the traditional game broadcast by the, I'm sorry, I'm going to be mean on this one, the horrible team of Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, Lisa Salters, and John Perry, while ESPN2 and Freeform will put their own distinct broadcasts with separate crews, and ESPN Deportes will air in Spanish.
Then I'm watching Freeform. I'm not watching ESPN then.
Yeah.
I can't stand that crew.
That crew is terrible, man. In addition, ABC will also simulcast 2 upcoming Monday Night Football games. So that's awesome. Monday Night Football coming back to ABC as it should be.
Exactly.
Should always be on ABC. Shouldn't have to be a pain in the ass treat or have to have ESPN to watch Monday Night Football because, no offense, most of the time the Monday night games suck.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're really good, but overall they're kind of crappy.
Well, especially with that commentating crew.
Oh, geez, yeah. But could you imagine if it was back in prime time to compete with NBC Sunday Night Football? And now even Thursday Night Football has gotten pretty good. You can get that on your Amazon Prime. It's on Fox. You got Joe Buck and Troy Aikman at least on that one, and I can take that.
I don't know if you watched this last Monday night game, but, the original Monday night crew was supposed to do the Ravens-Steelers game, which is airing tonight. Well, for the Monday night game that they put in its place, you got Mike Tirico and Tony Dungy, which was fantastic.
Yeah, and they did great. I mean, they did good on Sunday too. They did this. They did.
That was the Monday night game. Yeah,
the Monday night game. Yeah, it was good. It was definitely nice to get a change because the lineup we just told you not to be a jerk, but but you can catch the Bills and the Niners on December 7th tentatively, and the Patriots game on December 28th. I mean, of course that's the Bills and the Patriots on December 28th, but this all depends on Corona. I mean, in such a weird world, we've got the Steelers and Ravens this afternoon. It's like a 3:40.
It's a strange one,
Eastern Standard Time game, so that means it's going to be even earlier for us, and it's just weird.
Yeah.
I hope the Steelers continue their undefeated streak because it's always neat to see a team to see if they can go the whole distance.
Yeah.
And I personally am not a big Ravens guy, so
no, it'll be fun to see them in the playoffs too.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
Playoffs?
You kidding me? Playoffs?
Always good stuff. In geeky entertainment news, looks like Godzilla vs. Kong's going to skip theaters, and they're looking to find a home on a streaming service. And the leading one is Netflix made an offer of more than $200 million to have the rights to Godzilla vs. Kong, and they're looking to get an offer from HBO Max. So they still want to release Godzilla vs. Kong theatrically next year as scheduled, but they want to do what Wonder Woman 84 is doing. They want to simul-release it. They want it to be available for the masses that are Godzilla fans in theaters, but they also realize not everybody's ready to go back, so might as well get that cheddar and try to get it on a streaming platform, which we're going to find out here in about 3 weeks how that fares for Wonder Woman 84. And I think it's going to do quite well. I'm very confident in that one.
I'm not complaining about the strategy. I love it. You know, the fact that a movie like Wonder Woman 84, I'll go to the theaters to see, and I'll watch it here at home. Hell, watching it twice, why not?
It might be like one of those things, like if it's so good in theaters, you're going to go home and watch it and see how it is on the screen.
Exactly.
But you know what? That is your entertainment news. Let's go ahead and dance on to the birthdays today.
It's my birthday!
Oh, she's so lucky because she did it again. Whoops. It's her birthday. Hit her one more time. Britney Spears is 39. I like that she's a 1981 baby. I had such a crush on her in high school.
I think we all did.
Smile. Yeah. Smile, Mr. Discount Double Check. Your Packers are number 1 and you're 37, but you look like you're in your 40s. This Charlie's Angel will kill Bill while helping Sherlock solve cases at age 49. Lucy Liu still looks relatively young.
Yeah,
that's good for her. Yeah, but 49 for Lucy Liu. It's amazing that Maze from Lucifer is also from 1981. Leslie Ann Brandt is 39. You have to watch Lucifer to understand the Maze-Lucifer connection there. And lastly, this promiscuous man-eater is like a bird at age 41. Nelly Furtado has a birthday today. And that's it for your celebrity birthdays. Hope you all enjoy your day.
And folks, that does do it for the entertainment news. When we come back, we have a segment called The Internet of Things. You don't want to miss it. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting's hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm gonna do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Listen live at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks, for the fourth and final segment of the first hour, but don't fret, there is still plenty to...
Are we back?
Well, the good news and the bad news is we are back on Facebook. The bad news is YouTube cut out because, for whatever reason, my broadcaster's having some issues, so I'll have to troubleshoot that after the show. But if you are a YouTube watcher, what I will do is I'll edit it all together. I'll upload it in its mostly entirety to YouTube after the fact. So that's sort of the state of affairs with our few technical difficulties here.
They were back, though. Like, how many times did you want to drop the F-bomb on the air?
Oh, you have no idea.
You
have no idea.
I was just texting Mike and Lacey. They were giving, super fans, love you guys. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. They texted me. They said, "Hey, your video's gone."
Yeah, we know.
And I go, "Can you hear us at least?" They're like, "Well, not on YouTube." So we got at least good feedback from the fans. So thank you guys for still sticking with us. And then I told them the story where when I had that problem on Monday, I was like that close to dropping the F-bomb. But I said something like flippity flap or something weird.
Yeah.
That I normally don't say in everyday life. It just, my brain's so trained when I'm on the radio or I'm at work around members, just everything just gets watered. So good for that, because man, I wanted to. That's not what I was thinking.
Yeah, my inner Hulk wanted to emerge, but luckily my outer Bruce Banner was able to calm the beast. The sun's getting very low. Yeah. So in any case, if you
good
missed,
job, big guy, and I like the attitude. That was nice.
If you missed a portion of the show or you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it's mostly easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts. Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, about 20 in all. While you're there, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review. Let us know what you think and tell your friends, because sharing is caring. Now, we did things a little out of order today, but as we do on Wednesdays, we like to explore the English language and some of the idiocracy that surrounds it. But, you know, it is the language we speak, so we got to deal with words are hard. Well, today's words are hard is based on the etymology or the origination of some of the funnier words in the English language. For instance, our first one is walrus. You figure, okay, you know, all of these names all these words had to come from somewhere, but what about walrus? Where do you get walrus from? Well, the walrus is an undeniably funny-looking animal. It's got a droopy, hangdog kind of face, grumpy old man whiskers, and two ludicrous-looking tusks. So it seems fitting that walrus also has a funny origin story. It may literally mean whale horse. The story goes that the walrus comes from the Dutch walvis, which means whale, and rose.
I'm Dutch, isn't that weird?
And rose, which means horse. Put it together and you get walrus, a whale horse. Which, if you look at this absurd animal, seems like it might be a fitting name, though I don't think you would necessarily want to ride one.
Get on it and ride this walrus. What the hell?
Well, another funny-looking animal.
Walruses are just funny-looking.
Yeah, they are. Another funny-looking animal with a funny origin story is the ostrich. When you look at an ostrich with its tiny, teeny head, big, long legs, and large, fluffy body,
mean.
I heard the same thing. The first thing that comes to mind is the tiny, adorable sparrow, right? Wait, no.
Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow.
Oh, the wild times on the ostrich there, love.
Well, that's what the ancient Greeks thought, apparently. The word ostrich ultimately comes from the Greek word strauthion, which comes from their expression for big sparrow. That's right. It seems the Greeks thought the ostrich was just a really big, weird sparrow. I don't even know where.
I thought that's just what the X called it.
Nah.
Don't Google that, kids. Don't. Hey-o.
All right. Speaking of funny words and their funny origins, what about the word phony? Of course, you hear the word phony all the time coming out of politics, but phony is a word that means fake or made up. But we aren't making up this unusual origin story for the word. Although the exact origins of phony are unknown, it's likely the word comes from an old con known as the phony rig. Phony is an Irish word for finger ring. Okay. And rig, an old term for trick or swindle. So the swindler would accidentally drop a piece of cheap jewelry in front of their mark or target. Then they would pick it up while expressing relief that they hadn't lost such a valuable ring, pretending it was worth a lot, as if it was made of gold. If they were lucky, they'd sell it to the mark for much more than it was worth. Hence the term phony.
Yeah, it's funny. During that year, I actually just time traveled in my mind back to one of the first trips you and I went to Vegas together when we were scouting colleges at UNLV. And then we went to Kelly Clarkson's dorm room.
Right.
A girl that looked like her. But I digress. But remember how we went down? There was like that dollar bill, like at the casino, and we bent down to get it. And there was some jackass with the invisible string.
With the string, yeah.
Yeah, and then naturally, you like it's moving, and you're like, oh, no, grab it going. That phony little rigger.
Yeah.
And then you bought that bitchin' David Copperfield magic kit.
I remember that.
That'd be cool if you could still pull off some of them Barney Swinson stuff. Like magic.
Oh.
That'd be fun. Yeah, but I digress. I just time traveled to a time.
That's okay. That reminded me, one of the dealerships I worked at, somebody super glued a silver dollar to the ground, and then everybody would just sit back and watch people try to pick it up, and obviously they couldn't. So.
Good stuff. Hey, it's the simple things in life. Thanks, little rigger, for that phony illusion.
All right, Tony, this next word is something that comes actually from one of our favorite horror franchises of all time. What's with kids these days? Nightmare. Nightmares are scary and
What's
unpleasant.
with kids today, huh?
But if it's any comfort, the fascinating origin of the word nightmare makes clear humans have been having them for centuries. Wow. Words are hard today. Holy cow.
They are. It's your effing nightmare.
In Old English, a mare was a kind of evil or cursed spirit. Mares appear in all kinds of folklore, including German and Slavic stories. Mares were said to ride on people's chests at night, causing suffocation and bad dreams. These mares, often female, wonder why that is, were known as nightmares because they came at night. So, you know what? If you ever wondered where the term nightmare came from, now you know.
It's actually kind of a cool word, but I hate having nightmares. They suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ain't fun. I live it. I have like living nightmares sometimes. They happen, and I just sit back and I'm like, okay, you can wake up now. No?
Nope, not so much.
Okay. The toilet's overflowing in the work bathroom. Great. It's fine. It's all fine.
It's funny. I don't often remember my dreams or nightmares, but Jessie gets night terrors where in the middle of the night she'll just start screaming, but it's not a full-on scream. It's like an ah.
Dude, that's crazy. It's all soft.
Yeah.
Scary dream here. Scary.
Moving on with words are hard. We're talking about the etymology of funny words. For instance, the word sarcasm. On the hit TV show Friends, the character Chandler Bing can never help himself from making a sarcastic comment. But maybe he would feel differently about that if he knew the origins of the word sarcasm. Sarcasm,
oh my God!
Sarcasm is defined as a sneering or cutting remark. That definition is fitting because the word sarcasm comes from the ancient Greek word sarkeesian, which meant to tear flesh. That verb became a metaphor for speaking bitterly. So when you're being sarcastic, you are...
Oh, good for you!
You are figuratively tearing flesh. Let's see.
Spitting fire like Bowser.
And then finally, with words are hard.
Oh, why does Porky Pig make me laugh?
I don't know.
He's just a pig that
he's
just
funny.
can't talk. You want to like slap him. Today, Junior!
Well, with the etymology of funny words, how about the word bonkers? Bonkers is a funny sounding word. It's a
Yeah,
humorous,
that's a fun Disney show.
softer, informal way to say crazy or nuts. Its origins aren't clear, but bonkers is first recorded as British naval slang for a bit drunk in the 1940s, perhaps acting as if someone had bonked or hit them on the head. Okay, I can kind of see that. It's interesting when a word first appears somewhat within our lifetime. I mean, obviously we weren't born in the 1940s, but, you figure words are pretty much as old as time. But with something as recent as bonkers, it's sort of an interesting thing. Well, folks, that does it for the first hour. We are headed into our long break. We're going to figure out a few of the technical issues. But when we come back, we've got our call-in topic of gifts from the impossible. What do you buy for the person that it's really difficult to buy for? Don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys in about 7 minutes. You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. To explore our complete lineup, head over to phoenixmedia.us or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. The Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine's been approved for use by regulators in the UK. Officials say it will now be rolled out in Britain from next week. The UK has ordered 40 million doses. Health Secretary Matt Hancock says the NHS is ready for the rollout.
Thankfully, here we are, and we have the news that help is on its way. The vaccine is approved, and we have the rollout ready to go from next week. Now, the majority of this rollout will be in the new year.
South Korea says home quarantines have reached an all-time high amid the latest spike in the country's COVID-19 infections. Average cases have been around 500 a day for much of the past week. Seoul says the public needs to be more cautious. Bruce Harrison reports from Seoul.
Prime Minister Chun Se-gyun says home quarantines have cleared 70,000. Mr. Chun says the public needs to more strictly follow social distancing rules, and the government can only do so much on its own. Last month, top disease prevention official Jung Eun-kyung said people need to accept they won't be seeing each other as often, even family members. Under new guidelines, cafes have moved into a takeout-only model, and restaurants stop serving at 9 p.m. Bars and clubs have been closed. The jump in quarantines comes as South Korea prepares to hold college entrance exams. The annual event on Thursday has already been postponed by weeks due to the pandemic. Bruce Harrison, Seoul.
Hong Kong democracy activist Joshua Wong's been jailed for 13.5 months for his role in anti-government protests last year. Fellow activists Agnes Chow and Ivan Lam have been given shorter sentences. All three pleaded guilty to inciting an unauthorised protest outside police headquarters. Richard Kimber reports from the courthouse in Hong Kong.
Lawyers for the three former leaders of the now disbanded democracy activist group Demasisto had called for lenient sentences.
Last year, Joshua Wong was sentenced to just over a year in prison. Ivan Lam and Agnes Chow received shorter sentences. FSN's Richard Kimber reports from our Hong Kong bureau.
Lawyers for the three former leaders of the now disbanded democracy activist group Demasisto had called for lenient sentences. They had urged the magistrate to consider that the activists were in their mid-20s and hadn't taken part in any violence during the protest. The magistrate said prison was the only appropriate option and that a suspended sentence would not act as a strong enough deterrent. Both Joshua Wong and Ivan Lam have been jailed before for convictions relating to their activism, but this is the first time Agnes Chow has been given a prison sentence. Richard Kimber in Hong Kong.
President Trump has hinted for the first time that he may make another presidential run in 2024. Meanwhile, the latest tallies in the US have seen Joe Biden's lead over the president in the US election reach nearly 7 million votes. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting's hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go.
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this. To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Here goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second hour of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Wednesday, December 2nd. We are your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. Still joined by my co-host, Mr. Tony Sanfilippo. Getting a little choppy version of you, but you know what? That's probably on my end because what else could you ask for with the broadcaster crashing earlier? And, you know, it's one of those weird, wacky Wednesdays.
Yeah. Oh man, hopefully I'll turn into better. Can you hear me?
Oh, yep. Yeah, I can hear you. You're just a little Mr. Roboto.
Good as you can hear me, because like I could see the slow reaction on the upper side. But yeah, hope an hour or two smooths out. You know, we got a bad batch of butter this week.
Yeah, it's really strange with your Xfinity woes on Monday. Yesterday's show went perfectly. And then, of course, today we're talking about the internet, and my computer decided it didn't like what we had to say, so it crashed on us. And so we are back up and running. We get a little bit of a Mr. Roboto, Tony. But you know what? The show must go on, and that is why we are here for the top of the second hour, which is, of course, the interactive portion of the show. This is where we invite you guys, the listeners, and hopefully watchers, to join us and let us know your thought on whatever the topic of the day is. Now, what we do is we give you the topic the day beforehand, so that gives you the entire day to call in, leave a voicemail on the Fenix Line with your suggestion, with your story, for whatever it may be that we are talking about. Now, the number to do that on the Fenix Line is 855-FENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDO or 855-336-4973. Or you can always chime in live on our Facebook page. I want to say live video, but you got to make sure that you go to the second live video, not the first one that originally crashed. But head over to facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. That's Kristian with a K, Fenix with an F, radio, of course, with an R, and just comment into that live video. Today's topic is gifts for the impossible. Obviously, we're coming up on Christmas, and some people are, well, easier to buy for than others. Some people are just plain impossible to buy for. And I don't know about you, Tone, if you've got anybody in your life that's like that, but there are some people you just can't figure out what to get for them. Either they have everything and don't really need anything, or they don't want anything and they don't have any specific interests. So what do you do?
Oh, it's tough. I'll save that for the check-in or for the topic. But for me personally, I'm one of those. I think some people would say I'm hard to shop for. I don't think I am. If you know what I like is, I don't care. Like, people give me Funko Pops. Like most of these things I got as gifts. Like I didn't necessarily buy all these things. People get them for me, and I don't complain about it. I take whatever people want to get me. I'm happy with gift cards. I'm happy with all that stuff. Now, when I have to shop for people, I do understand that logic. It is kind of tough. One of the things is like my sister. She's relatively pretty easy to shop for, but sometimes you just don't know what she needs because she goes and buys whatever she wants, and they don't typically need stuff. But now it's a little harder because she's getting married, so you want to buy, do you buy together gifts? Do you buy individual gifts? So I see the concept, but recently I'm pretty good at figuring out what people need, but there are some difficult ones. The ex-wife was kind of hard to shop for because when you were on a budget and stuff, it was really, really tough to get money to go do stuff without her knowing, and that was always difficult.
Yeah, it always helps when the person has specific interests. Like you, Tony, obviously you just look behind you and, people know that, you are a kind of a geeky, nerdy guy like I am. You like the comic book stuff. You're a big Broncos fan. And of course you're a metalhead. So, that's the trifecta right there that makes you actually fairly easy to buy for. But, there are other people that just so tough. And then the question comes, when you're in a relationship, do you buy something that they want but maybe isn't necessarily a good investment, or do you buy something that's practical? Do you buy them something that they need versus something that they want?
Right. One, I think at the end of the day, when it comes to gifts, it really is the old adage. You used to hear this a lot as a kid, and you could give two craps about it as a kid, but it's really the thought that counts. It doesn't matter what the gift is. It's the fact that that person took the time to look to find you something, get you something. I mean, whether you like it or you don't like it, I mean, it's the thought's back there. You could literally get nothing. And as a kid, I used to get pissed if on Christmas, this will be a fun segment. I'm sure we'll compare it in a couple weeks, but worst Christmas gifts. And it's just when you didn't get that one thing you wanted, you were always just
right. Or you got jammies or underwear. You're like,
yes,
what the hell is this?
But as an adult, dude, want to get undies, dude? As long as they fit and they're not tighty whities, dude, whatever. Don't bug me.
Right. Well, folks, that's what we're talking about. Not tighty whities, but gifts. What do you get for the person who's impossible to shop for?
Tighty whities.
Go ahead and chime in now on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. Click into the live video and comment there. When we come back, it is all about you guys and what impossible gifts you get for that impossible person. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
The most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message. Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait, communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Wednesday, December 2nd. Almost forgot what day it was. But we are smack.
Well, technical difficulties day, right?
Yeah. You know, it's just one of those days. But it is a wacky Wednesday. We're having fun nonetheless. And we are smack dab in the middle of the interactive portion of the show where we ask you guys to chime in on the topic of the day. Oh, wow. Bubble in the throat.
Bubble in the throat.
Speaking of topic of the day, today's topic is, what gift do you get for the person who is impossible to buy for? Either they have everything or they want nothing. You know, it's something I think we all run into at some point, and hopefully we can provide you guys, the listeners, with a few options. And hopefully you guys, the listeners, can provide us with some options. Tony, I know I think Mike chimed in with his thought on it. If you want to go ahead and share that.
Yeah, it's so Lacey actually had said that what's hard to shop for her husband is the main thing is, we nowadays you rely on your technology and alerts are pretty rampant. And of course, when you're married, this kind of goes with what, and I can totally relate, is when she wants to get him something, it usually will tell you where it's from, or it'll say how much it is, and then because if he's doing the budget like for the month and he happens to be like, oh,
or okay, you share an Amazon account and the other person gets alerts to what was just purchased.
Exactly, yeah. So that's hard. So while Mike probably is not hard to shop for, I think the whole secret and element of surprise is what's hard.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Now, Kendra chimed in on our Facebook page, which, of course, we welcome you guys to do. Head over to facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. Just click into the live video and comment there. She said, for the people that are hard to shop for or have everything they want, I donate money to a charity that they would like in their name. Dog charities are an easy favorite. I couldn't agree more. In fact, I run a dog rescue nonprofit called Rough Riders, and we had our Giving Tuesday yesterday, which actually is running through the end of the day Friday. So if you head over to facebook.com/Rough Riders Saves, and you want to donate, make a donation to somebody in their name for a Christmas gift, well, yeah, our dog rescue nonprofit is a great one to do it for, because we are saving dogs that are on death row. So with that being said, pulled up a list of items that, are suggestions for gifts you can get for people that are impossible to buy for, namely the person who has everything. Like you mentioned, Tony, your sister, if she wants something, she'll go out and buy it. Jesse's kind of the same way. If she wants something, she'll buy it. So getting her a gift, chances are she's either already got it on its way or, she doesn't necessarily need it. But, I find creative ways around it. In this case, they suggest, especially if it's somebody who's a professional, a virtual assistant. Tony, are you familiar with virtual assistants?
Well, like Alexa or things of that nature?
Not quite. It's one step further. So money is a renewable resource, but time is not. So consider giving your recipient the gift of more free time. A virtual assistant can help take a wide range of chores off their plate, repetitive work tasks, contacting customer service departments, managing their inbox, bookkeeping, scheduling, travel planning, the list goes on. Whatever personal work
and on.
Whatever personal work or chores your recipient was planning to do next Saturday morning while the kids were watching cartoons, you can give them that time. They can spend it with their family doing their favorite hobby or just catching up on much needed sleep. Best of all, once they get over the initial awkwardness of delegating their personal chores to a virtual assistant, they can start regaining time for themselves every single week by continuing the work with their virtual assistant. Services like Belay or Wood Bows are full-service VA placement companies, or hire a virtual assistant directly through freelance websites like Fiverr or Upwork. And again, it's people who either locally or overseas do the work that you need them to do. You pay them for it, and they take care of the mundane, the things that you don't necessarily want to do, or open up and give you some more free time.
Right. With having the assistant will definitely allow more time. That'd be nice.
Yeah, in fact...
Could you order that for me? That'd be great. Can you get it gift wrapped? Nice. Perfectly. And the other one with Santa or Frosty.
I'm not going to make a suggestion to listeners out there, but if they want to get me something, a virtual assistant might not be the worst thing, considering I work 12 to 14-hour days, between Phoenix Media, this show, putting things together, and sometimes I just run out of time. So having a little extra free time wouldn't be too bad. Moving on with things to get the impossible person in your life that, you just don't know what to get them. How about an experience? Experiences are always fun. Most of us already have enough stuff. We don't need another knick-knack to clutter up our living rooms and another toy to play with for a day or two and then set aside. Think beyond physical items and give them an experience instead. When you prepay for an event or experience, your friend or family member gets a fun adventure to remember or possibly gain new skills and memories, all of which are much more valuable than a new iPhone speaker or pair of shoes. It's also a more thoughtful gift, showing you took the time to plan something for them rather than buying them another bland gift set. Experiences can include theater or concert tickets, well, when concerts are back on, sporting event tickets, well, when sporting events are back on, a massage, an airplane flying lesson, a hot air balloon ride, skydiving, whitewater rafting, tickets to a gallery opening at a local museum, or wine tasting. And my mom actually got my dad the Richard Petty driving experience one year, which I understand was just a lot of fun. It was NASCAR on a NASCAR track. And so just a great thing to do for the person who has everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Now, I hear some chimes going off there in the background. Are people chiming in on the topic, or...
Yeah, it was my niece Annabella. She told me something and doesn't want me to read it. So
okay.
She was just chiming in. She was participating, but she doesn't want me to read it. So I'm not going to read what she had messaged. And I will say she did just text me, "Love you." So love you too, sweetie.
That's
I'll
awesome.
read that back. That's fine.
Okay. All right. That works. Moving on with a list of gifts that are for the impossible person to buy for. Gift cards. Well, some people think gift cards are a cop-out, but consider this. People who have everything clearly know what they want. Why force a gift on them that they aren't looking for? There's no shame in buying someone a gift card or gift certificate for their favorite store or activity. It shows you pay attention to their preferences while acknowledging they prefer to shop for themselves. Whether it's for their favorite clothing store or a new restaurant, a gift card tells the recipient the gift is truly about them and not your need to show off your creativity. Stop thinking about the kind of gift you'd rather give and buy them the kind of gift they'd rather receive. I'm a big proponent of gift cards. I love gift cards. I love cash too. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, I can't necessarily tell people what I want for Christmas, but I know what I want for Christmas. And if I can buy it myself after the fact, hell, why not?
Yeah, exactly. I love gift cards. I'm a huge fan of it. I was thinking this year, I was like, you know, like my sister had asked me, she's like, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, I'll let you know. And then the wheels start turning. I'm like, well, what do I want? And I don't really need anything, you know? And I start to think, well, you know, on Cyber Monday, I was talking to you and I almost pulled the trigger on buying a new Mac because obviously I don't know if I look like Mr. Roboto and look like I'm on dial-up. I don't know if it's because of this piece of crap. It's just like 8 years old. It's not a piece of crap. I mean, for an 8-year-old PC or a Mac to still be running at its highest performance, that's a good thing. But I was like, well, maybe gift cards would be good. Then that would ease up the pain of buying a new one, you know, something like that. I don't know. But then you think of little things, like I almost bought like the Echo Show 8. Why am I getting calls? The Echo Show 8, which like my aunt and uncle, they bought one. And I was like, oh, this thing's neat. You ask it, you know, hey, Alexa, what's the weather out? Hey, do you have the recipe in it? It gives you the breakdown. It's like, oh, that thing's pretty cool. But I never pulled the trigger to buy one myself, you know, even though I saw them on Black Friday. But I'm just kind of like, well, maybe I asked for something like that. I don't know.
There you go.
So gift cards are perfect because then, you know, like if someone's like, well, here's a $100 Amazon gift card. Oh, you go ham on Amazon. Hey, if I want the Echo Show 8, thanks to you, I now have the Echo Show 8 because you gave me a gift card.
Exactly.
So gift cards are money. Annabella did chime in on this one. She does want me to read this.
Okay.
My grandma never wants anything, and I don't know what to get her. So I need to find a way to surprise her.
Well,
it is difficult, sweetie.
I
think anything you get her is probably a good thing.
Here's an idea, and of course, it makes even more sense in the world we live in now. A membership or a subscription. So consider the gift that keeps on giving. You can give your loved one access to a year's worth of entertainment through a video streaming service like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, or Amazon Prime Video. Or if they're a book or music lover, give them an audiobook service like Audible or music services like Spotify or SiriusXM. For friends with kids, you could give them a membership to a local children's museum, kids gymnasium, zoo, or aquarium, or you could opt for a membership to anything from Costco, to AAA, to magazine subscriptions. A subscription box membership is another great gift. You know, we talk about those every once in a while, and of course, the one that we like is Loot Crate because it, you know, it deals with some of the geeky, nerdy stuff that we like to explore, watch, play with, whatever it is, you know, video games, comic books, whatever it might be. But there is literally a subscription box out there for anything. I mean, literally anything. So that may be one way to go.
Hey, and I support the Costco thing. I think that's a fantastic gift. You know, you give that to the ones that are like, you know, I love Costco. I hear great things about it, but I don't want to go. You know, I don't want to spend the money on a membership. Money's tight. Things like that. That's great because, you know, you're going to need groceries and you know what goods it has. I think it's a fantastic gift. So, and I'm also shameless plugging my company. So
nothing wrong with
why
that.
Why not? Absolutely not.
Well, folks, that does it for the topic of gifts for the impossible. Tomorrow's call-in topic, and you can go ahead and call in on the Fenix line at any point for the next 24 hours, is instant regrets. Is there anything that you've purchased that you instantly regret doing, and then maybe you can't even return it. Who knows?
I love this because that happened yesterday.
And it was actually Tony's suggestion. I love the idea. But folks, when we come back, we've got a segment called Sex Miseducation. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm gonna do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency. Who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Listen live at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Wednesday, December 2nd. We talk about it a few times each show. It is the Fenix Line, our 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line, giving you guys the opportunity to chime in on anything whatsoever, including our call-in topic for the next day. Of course, tomorrow's call-in topic is instant regrets. What did you buy and then instantly regret? Maybe not being able to return. We want to know about it. Give us a call on the Fenix Line at 855-FENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDO or 855-336-4973 for the alphanumerically impaired. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We'll compile those together, put them out in a future show. And of course, anybody who chimes in has the added bonus of being entered into what we're calling our prize contest, a monthly drawing, which I've still got to do for last month. for a chance to win some Fenix fan gear. You get a Fenix Media hat, shirt, maybe a few other goodies. And, it's a fun little thing for just participating in a show that, let's face it, you want to participate in anyway. Now, in this segment, we're talking sex miseducation. Over the last couple days, we've had some interesting stories, including one of a dog who found a adult toy at a dog park. Of course, we had our opening story this morning about Indonesia burning sex toys. And so wanted to take a look back at some of the uncomfortable situations surrounding, those sex education classes. Now, before we get going on that, obviously it is potentially inappropriate topic for those of you who may be listening with kids in the car.
We lost Mike and Lacey to this segment.
Hey, I don't blame them whatsoever, so I just got to say this.
Viewer discretion is advised.
So hopefully they'll come back for the next segment, but I realize that, you know what? This topic's not for everybody, but it is a fun one to cover. Tony, I don't remember having sex education at our high school. Did you have it at middle school? How did it work for you?
Yeah. I thought you were going to tell me you don't remember when you had sex. I'm like, well, okay, I probably don't share that. Man. I can joke. I don't remember the last time I did, but I digress. Yeah, we had it in first sex education that I can remember was 5th grade at Empire Elementary, and I got kicked out because I could not stop laughing of the animated penis. I got in big trouble. They used to have this guy teach it named Mr. Gary, and he got really pissed off because they showed an animated education video, and it showed like the dude's wang dangle getting all big, and it just was funny to me. And when you gonna show a kid, in 5th grade that it's funny.
Yeah.
And then we had it in 7th grade, and Miss Whitcomb was scary. She made you fear.
Oh, I'm sure. For some reason, I'm not surprised you were kicked out.
No. Oh, Mrs. Whitcomb was worse, dude, because the same thing. I still had the giggles in 7th grade, and they handed out condoms, and then we just turned them into water balloons and stuff. But I got kicked out of that one, too, because I couldn't control my laughter for being immature. And if she saw you holding hands, because that was the junior high thing to do, like you held hands, and that meant that was your girlfriend. So that was badass. So I had Katie Brown, who was like gorgeous. I'm like, hee-hee. Felt all proud. And she's like, you know what happens when you hold hands? It's right. You get diseases. Bad stuff happens. She made it seem like if you touched a girl, like even if you held hands, that was cooties, man. You were going to die.
Isn't it? No?
No, well, I'm okay.
All right.
Like, I survived COVID. We're good.
Well, let's go ahead and run down some sex miseducation stories. And
miseducation of the sex.
Please remember.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Goobadoo!
All right. You have this one from user Alive in Joburg 2 says, my sex ed teacher brought a kid who was wearing a t-shirt with 2 long sleeves up to the front of the class and proceeded to explain what an uncircumcised penis looks like.
Oh, Mr. Squiggles.
Ooh. That's a heck of an analogy. And of course, you won't look at long sleeve shirts or turtlenecks the same way ever again.
No, you definitely won't, man. And once you've seen an uncircumcised penis, you can't unsee it. Looks like a Shar-Pei dog,
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Moving on with sex miseducation, you have this from user Exandris that says, it was in the 9th grade health when Mr. Lamb, dude was an absolute gem of a human being, but his voice sounded exactly like Barry White, like all the time. So anytime he tried to say anything remotely sexual, it sounded like the voiceover for a raunchy R&B song. This obviously made us freshmen erupt in laughter constantly. Poor guy just couldn't get through a lesson for 3 straight weeks. Trust me, I know what it's like to have that Barry White type voice.
Yeah, you do. You do have the golden voice, buddy.
Moving on with sex miseducation from user Big Baby X-Ray. Says
Big Baby X-Ray.
My health teacher in high school told us condoms are strong and they are very stretchy. Don't believe any guy who says they don't fit them. She then pulled out 3 condoms that were available in the health office, proceeded to pull one over her hand, up past her elbow, like it was a fancy costume glove, spread her fingers out as wide as they could go, stretched the 2 remaining of the condoms over her cowboy boots and walked around nonstop for over 6 hours before one of them finally broke. Boy, that school is providing some heavy-duty condoms, if you ask me.
Yeah, definitely. They were handing out all the little cheapies, man, because when you filled it with water, the things went...
Right. Well, and if a school's handing out the cheapy ones, it's no wonder that our high school pregnancy rate was a little bit higher than you would expect.
Right.
Moving on with sex miseducation.
All right.
This from user Artemis1860 says, when I was a senior in high school, a guy I had a crush on pulled me aside one day and asked, so when a girl has her period, she just lays an egg in the toilet, right? I'll be honest, I'm not sure if I answered him or just stared at him. You know what? That whole topic to most guys is an enigma. We don't understand it. In a lot of cases, we don't want to understand it. But you know what? Go ahead and educate yourself so at least once a month you understand what your partner is going through.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. Like, kudos to girls, man. Just right now saying it straight up, girls are way tougher than guys could ever be. I mean, the fact that they have to be in pain once a month and they birth humans, man. It's just, it takes strength. So, you know, we get hit in the little testicles and that puts us on the ground. But, geez, man, women are just tough with what they have to go through with their bodies, man.
Yeah, what was, I forget what movie it was from, but there was the movie quote, I don't trust anything that bleeds for 5 days and doesn't die.
Oh, I forget. I know it. I've heard that one, though.
I don't envy you women for having to go through that. It's not fun. I would assume.
Yeah, no.
I don't know for certain. Any case, moving on with sex miseducation.
Go!
This one from user KY Librarian, fitting name, says, I was filling in for the 9th grade life skills teacher when she was at an appointment and she had left a chart for the kids to fill in with different birth control methods, their percent effectiveness, and any side effects. I was at the front of the room leading the discussion with the information they needed to fill in their charts. The last method on the chart was abstinence. I said, there are no side effects. One of the freshman boys raised his hand and said, I know a side effect of abstinence, carpal tunnel. I couldn't even pretend that it was inappropriate. I laughed as hard as the kids did.
That's pretty good, man. That's just some good humor right there.
That would have been a Tony type comment.
Yeah, that was one. That's a kudos.
All right, let's keep going with sex miseducation.
Hello, nurse.
This from user M Cheris Lenstar. Okay. Says, one day in health class, we were supposed to play an online health Jeopardy game, but the teacher accidentally chose a sex positions game. There's some extra education. Look at that. Things you don't get at school every day.
Right.
And then finally, in our sex miseducation topic.
All right.
This from Firefly Fly 3. Boy, that's a tongue twister.
Firefly Funhouse 3, what?
Firefly Fly 3.
That's too much. What a pain in the ass Twitter handle. I would advise to change that name.
I would too. They said, I went to a Catholic middle school. In 8th grade, they made us watch a video that was basically, don't have sex or you'll die. The woman speaking in the video literally said she could tell if a girl has had sex or not by looking into her eyes and gazing into her spirit. Sounds like your teacher, Tone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Miss Whitcomb was scary. She didn't scare me from women. I love women. But dude, back then, definitely holding Katie's hands, I was a little scared. I always felt like Miss Whitcomb was going to pop up behind me and say, syphilis! Herpes!
Well, if we've learned anything today, we know that if you hold hands, you could die.
You can die. Guess what? I'm still alive. And Katie's still alive. She's out there somewhere in the world.
Well,
she's watching. Hello.
Folks, that does it for this topic of sex miseducation. When we come back, we're heading to the final segment of the show, and that means it's time for This Day in History. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys in a few.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. Well, folks, thankfully we made it to the final segment of this episode of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show on a Wednesday, December 2nd, despite the technical issues that we've experienced. But you know what? We made it through. We're here. Not before this final segment. Now, if you missed a portion of the show or you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it's easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts, whether it's Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, Doozer, Dozer, Geezer, Gozer.
Are you a god?
James doomed us all. Well, despite Stay Puft showing back up, while you're there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review, let us know what you think, and tell your friends. Because why, Tony?
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. And as we do each and every day in the final segment of the show, we're going to drop a little knowledge on you, hopefully make you laugh at the same time. It is time for This Day in History.
Traversing the globe for the stories that turn the world on its head. It's This Day in History with your correspondent on the beat,
Kristian Fenix.
Thanks, Siri. Much appreciated. All right, kicking off this day in history. This day in 1682, Anthony Ashley Cooper, first Earl of, well, speaking of sex miseducation, Shaftesbury.
Oh, Shaftesbury, that's right. That's a big round bear right there. I'm gonna eat my Earl sandwich from downtown Disney.
I wonder how many shafts they bury there.
Shafty.
Anyway, he flees to Amsterdam following the failure of his plots to prevent a Catholic secession should King Charles II die. So, just some fun words to say in there, that's all.
There was a lot of weird plotting and weird backstabbing back in the day. They had such words for everything.
Oh, we've got even more coming up in that vein, but not before we cover this day in 1804. General Napoleon Bonaparte is crowned Emperor of the French at the Notre Dame de Paris in a ceremony officiated by Pope Pius the Roman numeral 7. Pope Pius VII.
Gosh, Pope Pius VII? Eat, you damn pig! God, I'm only the greatest Napoleon ever. Going to the Piggly Wiggly. I already told you.
Well, we know that that's how he celebrated being crowned Emperor of the French.
Excellent!
This day in 1823, U.S. President James Monroe declares the Monroe Doctrine, opposing European colonialism in the Americas, arguing any European political intervention in the New World would be a hostile act against the United States. Boy, that sounds familiar. Just replace European with Russian, and you're here into the year 2020 or 2016, depending on where you're looking at.
Very interesting. You will take my truck right now because I have things to do.
This day in 1859, abolitionist John Brown is hanged for murder, treason, and conspiring slaves to revolt at Charlestown, Virginia. You know, with as I was going to say, as terrible as things are right now, I'm so glad we don't live back in the mid-1800s. We're past slavery, and if somebody even tries to help out, being hanged for it, no bueno.
Yeah, or off with your head. But yeah, hanging was a big thing. Yeah. I think John Brown was like a third or fourth, fifth, sixth cousin of my ex-girlfriend, Katie Brown.
Seriously?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
I doubt it.
Okay.
She wasn't originally a Brown, so no.
Gotcha. This day in 1867, in a New York City theater, British author Charles Dickens gives his first public reading in the United States. Can you name a Charles Dickens book, Tone?
Moby Dick.
See, look, you're up to speed
because
on
this
your
show's
literature.
all about Moby Dicks and John Shafts and Wangle Dangle Dang Dang Doodles from Dingleberg, USA.
If it's childish and immature, you know we'll cover it.
Yeah.
All
man,
right.
well, and that's the thing. Could you know, when you're a kid, man, reading Moby Dick, you just laugh because it says Moby in it.
Moving on, this day in 1901, if I say the name King C. Gillette, what comes to mind, Tone?
Gillette, Wyoming.
Close, but no cigar. King C. Gillette begins selling safety razor blades. It's the best a man can get.
It is. You know, maybe I should look into using a Gillette razor sometime.
It's all right, a little patchy, but it's looking good, Tom.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, the girls are liking it. I don't get it. To me, it looks like it doesn't fill in too well right here. I look like a little bit of a lame version of Will Wheaton.
Inconceivable!
All right, moving on, this day in 1933, Fred Astaire's first film, Dancing Lady, is released. I know that's, what, your top 3, top 5 to say the least, right?
It's actually better than Back to the Future. I'm waiting for my dancing pop figure, and I can't wait to start my website. The joke's only funny if you remember what the hell the movie was called. It already left. Dancing Girl with Fred Astaire. So,
Close enough, Dancing Lady.
Yeah,
it's all right.
Whatever.
Same difference. All right, moving on, this day in 1941, American mobster Louis Buckhalter is sentenced to death along with his lieutenants Emmanuel Weiss and Louis Capone. They got the Chicago
Capone,
overcoat.
Weiss, and me, Buster Duties. Yeah, great. Yeah, little copper movie right here. We're gonna bust some peeps here. That's how you talk. It would be more like, yeah, see, this is my friend Capone here, see?
There you go. Moving on with This Day in History. This day in 1950, I, Robot collection of sci-fi short stories from Isaac Asimov is published by Genome Press in the U.S. Are you familiar with any Isaac Asimov tales, Tone?
No, but I have heard of iRobot with Will Smith, and we sell iRobots at work.
I actually think that was based on one of his stories. I also think it's called I Dream of Electric Sheep, which ultimately ended up becoming Blade Runner, was one of his as well.
Oh, cool. But that's just weird. Oh, I Dream of Electric Sheep. I mean, it just kind of ties with some of the dirty innuendos on the show today.
That it does. Now, obviously, it came out in 1950, before technology has caught up to what science fiction was then. And, it'd be interesting to see what his thoughts are on how far we've come technology-wise and how close it would be to some of the fictional stories that he wrote about.
Absolutely. I think it's kind of neat to think about, like back then, everybody was such dreamers of what the future would look like, what technology would be like. And people have, due to those dreams, I mean, a lot of people have made those realities. I mean, it's crazy to see all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want it to get to like those versions of the sci-fi world because that is creepy.
So, not the post-apocalyptic sci-fi, more of the Star Trek.
Yeah, you don't want the Skynet.
Yeah, that's a little scary. Moving on with This Day in History, here's one of the oddest things that's ever popped up on here. In 1964, Ringo Starr's tonsils are removed.
That's your favorite Beatle too.
If
I got my tonsils removed.
If by favorite you mean least favorite,
favorite Beatle.
All right, moving on. This day in 1984, Miami quarterback Dan Marino breaks the NFL single-season touchdown pass record when he throws his 37th in the Dolphins' 45-34 loss to the Raiders. Finishes the season with 48 touchdown passes. God damn it, Marino laces out.
Laces out, Danny. And that record would be beat by my boy Peyton Manning. 2013 Denver Broncos, one of the best offenses you ever seen. There's Peyton right there, baby.
Yeah.
Broke old Marino's record in 2013, but fudge for 80.
Ooh, that was close.
That was so close. That was a hairline fracture of a bad word. It was just cool to watch Marino as a kid, man. Him and Elway, just really cool. Bernie Kosar, a lot of cool quarterbacks back then.
Oh, totally. Moving on this day in 2013, The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, the second film in the Hobbit series, directed by Peter Jackson, starring Martin Freeman and Ian McKellen, premieres in Los Angeles. We've started going back and watched the Lord of the Rings series, and of course, now we got to go over to the Hobbit movies, but they're a lot of fun.
This is little desolation of Smaug. He's a dragon, but he encounters little hobbitses before the rings.
And then finally, moving on, this day in 2014, Stephen Hawking claims that artificial intelligence could be a threat to mankind and spell the end of the human race, which, if Skynet goes online, that might just be the case.
Right before holidays, real quick, that just reminded me of our early topic with the internet. There used to be an app on one of the computers that would talk like Stephen Hawking has to talk, and we would make it sing and stuff. Good times. That was early computer stuff.
Did you make it say one ham and cheese?
No, but I made it cuss. And it's great to hear robot cussing.
Finally, with our last minute, let's run down some of today's holidays. I'm going to get a button for that eventually. In any case, today is the National Business of Popping Corn Day. That's a weird way to phrase it.
Popcorn from Nebraska. It's the freshest and the bestest.
Today is Choose Women Wednesday. I choose women every day.
Every day, all day. Yes, that's every day for me.
Speaking of an everyday holiday, today is the International Day for the Abolition of Slavery. Again, should be an everyday thing. Food-wise, it's National Fritters Day. It is National Mutt Day, National Package Protection Day. Protect those packages. And it is National Special Special Education Day. So, folks, hopefully we'll be back tomorrow. Less tech issues, but it is Thursday with Florida Man. Have a great Wednesday, everybody.